Alright, men are ignored. Men are ignored. And I hate that. I really do. Now, what context is men are ignored on? We're ignored on a whole bunch of things. As far as our desires, our wants, our talents, even our life, and our emotions. The list could go on. Man, we go through so much. I'm going to give my story of how I was ignored. First, starting off as a kid. This might not be a male thing. This might be a, adult kid thing. As kids, kids don't know what they're doing. But as a kid, it started this way. In fact, I'll even take it that way. As a kid, in my childhood family, I think it was 2000. Well, yeah, 2000. I'm gonna say 2006. Yeah, 2006. No, I'm trying to remember. No, maybe 2005. I'm trying to remember. Because I was 4, so it was 2004 at the end, so that means I moved to there, so I'm in kindergarten. Let's see, no, pre-K and kindergarten. Okay, so I was in kindergarten there, pre-K 2005, first grade 2006. That might be incorrect. Yeah, okay, no, that's correct. That's correct, I think. Point being, around 2006/5, I'm going to say 2005. That's when my childhood family was established. I'm not going to lie. That time was the shit. I had so much fun. I was 6, 7 years old. No, yes, 6. There we go. 2006. I remember. So 2006. That's when I want to say my peak childhood, but it was like early childhood, if I'm being honest. I'm going to have to stop lying to myself, honestly, but... Okay, the truck driver waiting for me. Usually that don't happen. They just run us over. Anyways, oh my gosh, selective children. Selective, favoritism. Obviously with me and one of my early childhood immediate siblings, specifically, I feel like specifically because we're men, whenever we did something bad, we were always given a whooping. Okay, look, I'm not gonna, shun whoopings all that bad, because the Bible says something about whooping, okay? Even though that is the Old Testament. But yeah, whooping works for some, not for all. Sorry, I always make those sounds because I remind me of roller coasters. But anyways, back then, obviously, I didn't understand whoopings, okay? I understand now. But the point I'm saying, the boys of the family, not the men, the boys of the family, it was 3 of us. 3 of us. But only 2 of 3 of them, me and one of my childhood immediate siblings from my early childhood, we were the main persons getting whoopings. But the thing is, even if we did something, okay, we deserve it. But I want to say like a good chunk of those whoopings was from favoritism. Obviously, we wasn't a favorite child. Because firstly, we're not related. So we start getting more whoopings every single time the female did something. They didn't get no whoopings. They didn't get no whoopings at all. I remember specifically in the house, the girls don't get whoopings. The boys do. Which to an extent, I'd even support that. But you see what I point here. Us men us boys, when we were little, we are to take on that physical trauma. We are to take on that physical trauma. Instead of the females getting just a hard talk or whatever. We get the hard talk and the whooping. The boys. And every single time we told him we don't like whoopings and all that stuff, he wasn't even a biological father, okay? It was just still not good. And even though my childhood mother and my childhood father gave us whoopings, I mean, for disciplinary reasons, I'm gonna give it the pass. Nothing all clear. I'll give it the pass. I'll let it slide, okay? But I just think the fact that my childhood parents gave selective whoopings because of the genders proves right there men are ignored, okay? So, in the household, men are ignored, okay? Even when we're little boys. When we don't want whoopings, we get them. When the females need whoopings, they don't get it. Now, there was one out of 3 of the girls in the family that did get whoopings. That happens to be one of my biological siblings. So, yeah. Anyways, there. Now, in school, I was ignored. I have a childhood. I unfortunately have experienced bullying when I was a kid. The first ignoring of that was, firstly, I was Christian. So obviously they're gonna give a Christian a hard time. So them kids back then bullied me for all that junk. And every single time I tried to stick up for myself, I always the one who got in trouble. And then coming home and then getting a whooping from one of my childhood parents. Either one of them, childhood father or childhood mother. No ifs, ands, or buts. My reasonings was ignored by the teacher and my childhood parents. I was ignored. It doesn't matter if he did something bad, if I did something bad, nope, whooping, there you go. And speaking of childhood parents, they sure ignore my reasons, my explanations, and me standing up myself for that as well. Because there was nothing but smart mouth and talk back. Which for the most part I find stupid. Yes. Anyways, in school, like I said, I'm being bullied. And during my childhood era, technically it's during the peak childhood era, being bullied and junk, that's horrible. Being ignored by not only by classrooms, classmates and teachers. I'm being also ignored by home. Talking about, oh, you not standing up for yourself, Ray. Which I would say I somewhat do agree. I could have, been a bit more assertive and be more, basically assertive towards that bully and bullies. I think I should have. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I was ignored for that. For my methods. Why my methods wasn't to just sit there and fight the kid. Because I would have done it. The only reason why I didn't, because one, I was always a curious kid. I always like observing everything, okay? I didn't like always results of violence. How in the world a 6-year-old would result of violence? And if I did, I had to be like a toddler. And when that happened, my biological mother always corrected me for it. That's the whoopings I will support. That's fine. When I'm a toddler, don't hit people. Keep your hands to yourself. I have no problem with that. Getting a whooping from that. But as a kid, I just simply did not want to fight. So they couldn't see that. They couldn't see that. And another reason why I didn't want to fight is because if I did, I knew they was gonna ignore me and say I'm starting fights. Next thing you know, I'm getting suspension and then more whoopings. You see, my childhood parents, I was gonna say, and if they're watching, hi, I've already expressed that to y'all, but anyways, my childhood parents had a shitty way of trying to discipline us. I get they get it from their parents, and I won't fault them for that, but at the same time, well, my childhood parents are no longer a thing, and it's for a reason, obviously. And proof the whoopings didn't always work is because my childhood family is no longer together. That's proof it didn't work right then and there. Anyways, I was ignored for the bullying. I mean, they did realize I was being bullied. They wasn't gonna ignore that, I guess, especially my childhood mother. But because I didn't stand up for myself, oh, he's gay, raised gay, and junk like that, so all that's happening. All the years of me being bullied by different people and stuff like that. So, ignore for that, ignore for all that junk. Ignore for my methods of solving bullying, which somewhat technically didn't work. Specifically when I was a kid. Because my methods of solving my bullying was always snitching, which didn't work. And that's when I learned stitches. No, I learned snitching and stitches in 5th grade. Anyways, I think I did heard of the snitch word prior 5th grade. But point being, in school, you know, I did a bunch of snitching. That was my methods. But the thing is, the teachers, they didn't give a fuck about me. One time in 5th grade, a teacher, actually, unfortunately, she was one of my favorite teachers, my 5th grade teachers. Spoiler alert, watch the side note of episode 3 extra. I'm just going to say her name is Miss D. That's it. I'll let y'all decide the rest of that. Because I revealed that her initial, you know, inside novel. But anyways, Miss D, she was one of my favorite teachers. She was real fun. Don't get me wrong. But at one point I was getting bullied, so I snitched to her and she was like, do you think I care? And I was like, in my head, I didn't say this, but basically, I was like, bitch, are you serious? I didn't actually say that, but you get what I'm trying to say. I was super confused to why in the world a teacher will tell a boy who's getting bullied, do you think I care? What kind of shit is that? Anyways, there's that. I was ignored at school and at home and stuff like that. And then on top of that, I was ignored by the stuff I like at home. I mean, somewhat. I'm not gonna sit there and make like I was always a victim. Now I'm not gonna play victim all the time, but mostly speaking, my interest was annoying. So their best way of trying to get me to stop being interested in things I was interested in is by simply making fun of it. Anyways, going past all my childhood and teen and all stuff like that. Teen, I was also ignored about my sexuality as well. And at the time, my SSA wasn't really a thing. That started around, I would say, late 2015. So May 2015, that's when it started. The SSA thing. But I would say it was slightly my fault because I was experiencing what kind of porn I watched. So, yeah, I kind of did it to myself. So, fuck me. No, I think I did even have an SSA experience even before prom. 2000. Okay, I'm not gonna talk much about that. But the point being, teenage years, people concluded I was gay, and that really hurt me. And that I decided, yeah, I was ignored, and there was that. Even when I purposely dated my unofficial ex, the only reason why I did her because 1, I wanted experience. 2, I was trying to prove a point that I wasn't gay. And even when I did, people was talking about behind my back. Is Ray really dating a female? Is he really dating a girl? The only reason why they did that, they said all that shit, is because she always had short hair. I'm not gonna get into reasons why she always had short hair, but She always had short hair. So anyways, that all aside, teenage years, they ignored me, thought I was gay. There's that. So now in my life now, the stuff I'm interested in, corporate America ignores us workers. Whenever we're working, trying to meet the standard, we can't meet the standard. And we keep trying to explain to them how we cannot meet the standard, and they don't seem to understand that. I was literally told by a corporate manager. I expressed to them my complaint, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I can't stand it." I'm like, "You're the manager. Can you do something about it?" She didn't do shit. So there's that. So I was ignored even in that. She wouldn't even. I'm pretty sure she would ignore other people. You know, that's not a man, but you know. Anyways, if a man is going through turmoil, his emotions are also ignored by women, especially. We cannot be emotional. Every single time we are emotional, they find us like immature or like a pussy or unmasked, you know, not masking all that stuff. I said the P word, but it doesn't matter. It don't matter. But still, though. So now they're complaining, saying that we're emotionally unavailable. Which, whose fault is that? Yours. Men even ignore other men's feelings. Because when I was crying, I remember one of my childhood family members telling me, "You better man up. Cut all that crying out." For the most part, okay, I'll give you that. I give you that, especially if I'm if I'm like a teenager. You can't cry over everything. I get that. But I think there was a time I really was at my low. And my feelings was just completely ignored. So yeah, what else? Talents. My talents wasn't really that ignored. I'm not gonna lie. But if a man has a talent out there in the world, unfortunately, he's unable to really financially support himself. Like, you know, get that up and going. He may have it, but he can't take it nowhere. That's one thing I do fear. All the quote-unquote talents I have, I feel like I won't be able to pursue them. I managed to get my foot in the door a little via my YouTube career. Thank God for the creators of YouTube, but I don't know. What else? And I talked about emotions in our lives. Whenever we're going through financial situations, man, it is really cold. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know shit. But the point is, anyways, whenever you go through financial situations, no one really wants to help us. They don't care if we died, because sperm is cheap. It doesn't matter. What else? An incident in 2018. I'm gonna say probably like, yeah, September 2018. I was kicked out, not by my biological father. Okay, not him. It's his people. His people. Somebody. The thing is, he didn't know. My biological father, he was innocent, okay? At least for the most part. But someone, I'm not trying to reveal any information, but I was basically kicked out I was kicked out in 2018. And I was at my lowest, honestly. Until that, somewhat to my lowest. What else? I try explaining myself to, hey, I didn't mean this, I didn't mean that, I was just trying to help. Literally, I was trying to help. But, I mean, obviously, I didn't know what was going on in the house. But the reason why I did what I did, specifically, I was applying for food stamps and medical and all that stuff. I was approved for medical, but not food stamps. But the only reason why I did that is because there was no food in the house. So I was trying to feed the family, and I was looked down upon. Obviously, I didn't know. I'll give you that. But at the same time, my explanation, it meant jack shit. I was ignored. So now I'm homeless. Talking about, we want to keep the peace. So, there's that. So, there's that. Now, I'm being ignored even with my reasons to my dating life, because I don't have one. I'm being ignored by that. By my modern family. Specifically, my modern parents. One of my modern parents seem to understand a little bit more. But the other modern parents seem to just ignore it completely. Like, you don't know nothing. I get that. I'm a virgin. I don't know nothing. But sex don't have to drive my life. I don't care if I'm a man and I have these needs and they're not being met. I don't care if I have that junk, okay? Just because I'm a man doesn't mean I'm always going to choose to give in to all my sexual urges. Like, all my standards are ignored, okay? It sounds like garbage to them. Like, you don't know what in the world you're talking about. Get experience. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do need to get experience. I do. But I don't think they see the beauty of two young people who don't know what they're doing. Christians, to be exact. Who don't know what they're doing. And just working their marriage out. And losing each other's virginity. I see beauty in that. I'm pretty sure that was God's original design. I'm probably the only one who see this. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Men, we're ignored. If our emotions, our finances, our life, it's just a lot. Our talents, our voice, that one's a big one. Because we're not allowed to vent. We're not allowed to talk. We just gotta quote unquote man up and just take on the world. It was just shit for the most part. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.